Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to show you how whipping wool works. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Additionally, if you would like to participate to the giveaway, please do check the instruction contained in the video description. Thank you again. So, whipping wool, that is the way that it looks like. That's the interface, nice and simple. It's a micro looper, which can be used, I suppose, as a delay effect depending on the settings that you configure it with. So to start with, I'm in AUM, so AUv3 compliant. I have an audio channel. I have, as you can see, pure upright set up here as an audio source, and I have connected it to chord jump. You can see chord jump here, and I have selected a basic progression. So let's listen to what it sounds like in terms of pure upright, and then yeah. And then, yeah. So nice and simple progression. Now let's activate whipping wool. And let's go through the controls because they are very, very simple. Threshold, by where it will start to record, the looping size. You can have a jitter on and off, which change randomly the size of the looping. You can transpose up and down by semitone. You can have it playing in reverse. You can decide how many micro loop you have here. Click and hold. You can go up and down from 1 to 5 loopers. You decide how long it will hold the loop from infinite to 1 second. It's nice that it shows you the indication here in seconds. Then you have a dry and wet effect here. Nice and simple. And then you have additional settings here. Beat syncing if you want to do that, or leave it free running. If you want auto stop loopers or on and off, so the loopers will automatically stop when the transport stops. If you want to do crossfading, and you decide how long for, so crossfading between start and end of each loop. And then you can decide the fade in and out length and also establish it as a percentage of loop length or as seconds. So those are the controls. They are very simple. You can see the loopers here working when they are active. Now, let's move these up to 0 as a threshold, okay? And let's listen, let's set the wet volume to 0, and we have the dry volume to around 65. So let's play. First of all, you hear only the dry volume because the wet volume is off, but also if I was to increase the wet volume, like so, the loopers are now started recording because they're not reaching the threshold, which you can see here the example on the circle. Okay, so let's try again. Now let's make the looper size quite small. We set it to have only 1 looper active the whole time as well to 1. Then let's set the dry volume down to 0. So we don't hear it, and we have a wet volume, yeah, around 60%. Now let's play, and I will decrease the threshold, so it will start to play when it reaches the threshold in terms of the audio input. So lower, lower. Okay, so you can see that it's starting to record. Of course, I can increase the number of loopers here. But at this stage, it doesn't make sense because of how the other settings are configured. So let me show you what happens when I increase the looper size. And now let me show you what happens when I increase how long it holds the loop, right? So you see, when the hold time is down to almost 0 to 1 second, you have more pauses because the sound, the input audio has not reached the threshold. But when you have it longer here, it will continue to play because it will hold that loop. Of course, when you have more than one micro loop working, they will start to overlap, and therefore you have a different type of sound. Okay. Now let's increase again a little bit more the size. Okay, let me show you now the jitter that will change the looper size. This is random, so sometimes it works straight away, sometimes you have to let it play for a bit. So you can hear that there were some loops there which were shorter and some which were longer because of the jitter effect. Okay, so let's set these down to 0. Let me show you what happens now when we increase the crossfade. So you can hear there is more crossfading between the start and end of the looping. And let me lower the threshold as well so you hear that a little bit better. So you have a more... Of course, you can act also on the fade in as well, fade in and fade out. I prefer time unit second. In this case, I know exactly what it is. I can set it up. And again, you hear the fading out when it doesn't reach the threshold too often, right? So let's change that. So let's go a little bit wider. Down to 0.05. So it cuts straight away. Let's increase the fading. Let's wait for triggering. Lower a little bit. And you can hear the fading going away. Of course, you can include the dry volume along the wet, and then you have a different type of combination. Of course, you can have it also playing in reverse. And you can also adjust the semitones. And of course, the magic happens when you have more than one looper. Of course, when you have more than one looper, it would be good to actually having a different type of audio input, like a drum, which I try. Actually, let's try that now. So we remove the pure upright, and we bring in, why not, hammerhead, like so. We don't need the connection with chord jam any longer, but let's create a simple bit, something like that, and let's play it before we listen with whipping wall. Nice and simple, right? So let's introduce now whipping wall, and let's increase the number of loopers. Adjust the threshold. Loop size. So you can obtain different type of effects. So this is whipping wall. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and as always, see you next time. Bye.